Hello, everyone. My name is John Brenneman. We're joined today by our good friend Andrew from Regent Seven Seas Cruises. We are going to talk about all-inclusive luxury cruising today and some opportunities for you to travel with your fellow MOAA members around the country. Before I turn it over to Andrew, who's going to tell you more about Regent, what they offer, the current specials, to kind of go through the group departures that we have set up for MOAA. I just want to take a quick moment, real quick, and talk about MOAA Vacations. We do have a lot of you on today's webinar who may not be familiar with MOAA Vacations. This is your first webinar. So we are MOAA's travel agency, so we are a full service travel agency. I know a lot of you either saw an email or in Military Officer Magazine, we had an ad on the back cover. We do everything, not just Regent Cruises. So we do want to be your travel agency of choice. Now, we do specialize, as our name implies, in vacation travel. And there's a number of things that we offer MOAA members. The first thing we always talk about is our superior level of service. There are a lot of components to come into this, but we really try to provide more of a concierge level of service. So we are here to help you from the beginning of the process of selecting your cruise all the way until you get on the cruise and you get back. One of the things we always mention in these is we are the only travel agency in the United States that provides travel on a satisfaction guaranteed basis. And that means if you have any issue, problem, concern, either before or during your cruise, you reach out to MOAA Vacations. In over 90% of the cases, you're going to talk directly to me. And then I go to our travel agent partners, such as Andrew. I can't remember the last time we had a problem with Regent, but if we ever had one, I would contact Andrew and we get that resolved for you. I know a lot of you have cruised a lot. If you've ever had problems in the past, the industry kind of standard, and this is the standard it would apply to Regent, but is 6 to 8 weeks for a resolution. We typically get people an answer within 48 hours. So that's kind of just one little, like a snapshot of what we mean when we talk about our superior store service. We do guarantee the lowest prices. In fact, we have a number of programs in place where we can actually offer lower prices than you can get either going to Regent direct, going to other cruise lines or tour companies direct, or going through other travel agencies. So I know the travel agency industry is ripe with these discounts. I always mention there's a cruise line since the day they entered service has been offering 2-for-1 fares and free airfare. So you see all these things of these inflated, save 50%, 60%, 70%, all of these kind of promotions out there. When we talk about savings, we're talking about what I like to call real savings. And real savings would be is if you contact the cruise line and they quote you a price of $5,000 and every other travel agency is quoting you $5,000. When we talk about savings, we're talking about if you contact us, our price is $4,500 or whatever that may be, but actual pricing that's lower than you can get from the vendor. To me, that's what we talk about when we talk about savings. We do have a free amenity program. Our great partners at Regent participate in this. Any ship, any sailing that you go on, any departure date, MOAA members, in recognition of your past and your continued service, receive a $250 shipboard credit. Now, we are going to talk about some group departures today where that's actually an enhanced, so it may be $400 or $600. But you always receive at least 250. And then in some cases, if you select a departure date where you'll be sailing with your fellow MOAA members, it's actually higher than that. And then the last thing that kind of we do that makes us unique from other travel agencies, maybe the agency you've used in the past, is we do have that opportunity to put these groups together and give you the opportunities to sail with your fellow MOAA members from across the country. If you've never done it before, we get rave reviews about this. About half the people that book through us, when they call up, specifically ask, I'm looking to go to Alaska. Is there a MOAA group that's going to Alaska or wherever that might be? So we do work with a lot of people that are fine going on their own or they go with friends or family, whatever that is. But for those of you who would enjoy the camaraderie of going with your fellow MOAA members, I understand that when you get on board, you're not going to know them, but I've been doing this for over 40 years now, and I'm going to tell you that if you get on board and fellow MOAA members are there. If you've been to MOAA events or other military events, basically they're friends you've never met before. There's that instant bond, and it really, for a lot of people, adds to their cruise experience to not only share the sightseeing, the experience, the cruise with others, but then you have people to, go to dinner with, go to the cocktail parties, the shows with, and everything else. So absolutely. If that is something you think that would enhance your vacation, let us know. We are recording today's webinar, so we will be sending it out to everyone who registered the webinar. So tonight you will get a link. This will be uploaded to YouTube so you can view it again. And we always like to mention everything we offer, the service, the guaranteed lowest price, the amenities, the opportunity to go on these groups is extended to MOAA members and anyone who travels with you. So, and there is no limit on that. So if you want to bring your neighbors or family members or friends and an additional one cabin, two cabins, 20 cabins, everybody who goes with you receives all of the MOAA amenities. And the reason I bring that up is when you receive the email this evening, which will include some links to some additional information on a lot of what Andrew's going to talk about. We do have an exclusive MOAA Vacations Regent website. But feel free to share that email with friends and family. If in your mind you're looking, let's say, circumnavigation of Australia, I know that was the kind of the featured cruise on the back cover of Military Officer Magazine. If you go, I'm absolutely want to go on this, and I have this friend who I know would want to go, or I have these neighbors or these family members, feel free to share the email with them so they can access the website for more information. They can watch the webinar, everything else. So one last thing before I turn it over to Andrew. When Andrew gets done with his presentation, we're going to stick around for a Q&A. So if any point during Andrew's presentation you have any questions, if you kind of put your cursor at the bottom, you should see little icons. If you're on a phone or a tablet, you put your finger down there. You're looking for like a little conversation bubble with a question mark in it that says Q&A underneath it. If you do not see that icon, there will be a circle with three dots in it that says more. If you click on that more, it will show you all of the icons. Just type your question in the Q&A. I will be answering questions during Andrew's presentation, and at the end of his presentation, we'll come back and give him an opportunity to answer everybody's questions as well. And so with that, I'm going to turn it over to Andrew so he can share more with us about Regent Seven Seas Cruises. Andrew, take it away.
Well, thank you, John. I'm really excited to be here, and thank you everyone for joining us today. More importantly, thank you for your service. If you've been to our webinars before or been on board, this is going to be a great refresher with some really cool updates. If this is your first time with us, this is an incredible overview of Regent Seven Seas Cruises, an experience, the unrivaled at sea, our product, and kind of what we do and who we are. So a little bit about us and a little bit of background. We would consider ourselves the number one in ultra luxury. We are a small ship with large footprints per se when it comes to our suites on board, from roughly 301 square feet currently all the way up to over 8,700 square feet. As I mentioned, all inclusive, which we'll cover, but we really take the luxury experience and elevate it with all of our inclusions. And if you were to stack us up against anything on the shore or in the water, we are the most inclusive product out there. I mean, really, when you're thinking about traveling, other entities do a really good job. It really is the definition of the details, and that is where we excel when it comes to the ultra luxury segment. Unforgettable moments with Regent. We are that brand. We love to celebrate with you. If you're having an anniversary or retirement, whatever those things may be, we love to be involved and provide a little bit more TLC, especially in those moments where you'd like to splurge. Maybe it's a big zero birthday and you want to move up into luxury for that special moment. There's really great opportunities for that, and we make those moments very, very special. So always keep that in mind. If there's big birthdays or anniversaries or anything along the lines, you can really, splurge in the sense, but also recognize how affordable luxury is when it comes to traveling on cruises. And I do apologize if there's a little bit of I think my camera is shaky a little bit, so I'm or cutting out. So I apologize if there's any of that. I also am going to actually step off of camera just so you can see full screen. I forgot to mention that too. So just one moment. When it comes to Regent and our unrivaled experience at sea, it's really our perfectly sized ships. As you can see here, we do have the Seven Seas Voyager in port with some of those larger contemporary brand products like Harmony of the Sea is there. You could literally pull a couple of Voyagers into these vessels. And, like I said, we are still, though small ship, have that large footprint, public spaces and everything. We just have capacities that are much lower when it comes to the contemporary and upper premium products. So you can see here, with that size of vessel, there is no waiting in lines. There's no waiting to get on and off the ship. It's just really creating a lot of ease of vacation, ease of travel when you book with Regent. Now, kind of getting into the nitty gritty. That's just kind of a little bit of background of who we are and kind of where we sit in the market. But what really sets us apart from the other entities in the luxury segment are our brand pillars. And I apologize, my PowerPoint does not want to change. There we go. These brand pillars here again are what really set us apart from the other entities in the segment. We have unlimited exploration, heartfelt hospitality, luxurious space, and Epicurean perfection. And we will go through all of these, here in this presentation. Starting off with immersive exploration, we have an array of opportunities to really immerse you into these destinations. As I mentioned, we are an all-inclusive product, and shore excursions are one of those inclusions. And those shore excursions are going to be really to the highlights of that particular destination where we can take you in, see the must sees of that destination if it's your first time there, and have that all included in our inclusive package. We also have tours that are going to be at a small cost. Because it offers a specialty vehicle or a exclusive inclusion for Regent. We offer an array of pre and post land packages as well to take you into these destinations, as you can see here in this list, with the free tour starting off and everything else with a small cost. But with those Regent Choice excursions, those could be a helicopter to the Mendenhall Glacier or a behind the scenes tour of the Vatican. We have small group tours that keep the groups more interactive with the tour guides, capping the guest count at 16. Go local tours for those who've been in these destinations before and are going back. These are going to be more off the beaten path type shore excursions to take you into family-owned vineyards and operations that are exclusive to Regent and not open to the public. Gourmet Explorer tours are all around culinary. If you are a self-proclaimed chef, these are really great chef-led tours that take you into the destination. You pick produce, you have wine tasting, you have a lot of really great opportunity to learn about culinary, and then you can take that back to the ship and use all that knowledge firsthand in our culinary arts kitchen, which I'll show you here in a little bit. Wellness tours around self-rejuvenation and self-help like Pilates and yoga, executive collections and bespoke arrangements. These are customized tours for you. If there's something that is in our list that you would like to do with just your travel companions, we can mirror that tour. Or if there's something that we do not offer that's off the beaten path, we can customize that for you. Pre and post land packages, mid-cruise overland packages, hotel packages prior and after your sailing, in-port overnights, which we really pride ourselves in. We stay later in ports. We overnight a lot more in the destinations that we travel to, giving you more time to soak in, the destination that we're at. And then over 350 UNESCO World Heritage sites throughout our destinations and itineraries. Unlimited exploration doesn't stop once you get back on board. We do have spotlight voyages that are one of a kind and tailored to particular themes. You can see here we have culinary arts, winemaking, journalism, genealogy, filmmaking, Broadway. We've had golf, we've had F1 spotlight. So you get on board, there's tons of activities like presentations, meet and greet, cooking demonstrations, wine tastings, cocktail parties. We also take all of that on the onboard guests. Like, for example, we had the F1 Aston Martin team with us. We had a lot of cocktail parties and dinners and meet and greets, and then they also did shoreside activities in the areas that offered, like the Aston Martin vehicle museums, and they had interactions with the pre and post land packages with the F1 team as well. So a lot of really cool things that happen on spotlights, and a lot of the onboard things are completely complimentary. Heartfelt hospitality. This, in my opinion, is our number one piece to the puzzle when it comes to Regent Seven Seas Cruises. It is our crew. It is that initial conception of the reservation with MOAA working with our reservation staff here in the States. I mean, a lot of wonderful energy that comes from our crew on board that really go above and beyond to ensure that you have the most elevated, luxurious experience. They learn your likes, they learn your dislikes, they get to know you. It really feels like a family on board. They really do go above and beyond. I've told this story multiple times through webinars, but it's, the best, one of the best experiences I've ever had. I've traveled on a cruise, around 2016. We went to the Panama Canal. I found a cocktail that I really, really enjoyed, and the crew just knew and would bring it to me without me asking. A few years later, I was on board one of our ships in Alaska. I had been on board for about 20 minutes, and I had a tap on my shoulder, and it was one of the crew members that was on the sailing from my Panama cruise a few years before, and he handed me the cocktail that I had been drinking and said, "Welcome back, Mr. Bruning." And it's just, that jaw-dropping wow experience moment that gives you goosebumps every time you tell the story is what our crew does for our guests on a daily basis. So it's just, that's a memory that I will tell for the rest of my life, and it's just a reoccurring, unrare thing on board. They just treat our guests with such warm, open smiles and greetings. It's just absolutely exceptional. Epicurean perfection. This is our on-board and on-shore culinary experiences. So as I mentioned, we had those really cool tours where you learned about culinary, and then you can actually come back to the ship and apply it here in our culinary arts kitchen with Chef Kelly's culinary arts class that she has throughout the Explorer class vessels, and on board with the new addition to the Mariner and the Voyager, which I'll show you here in a moment, with a really cool culinary experience as well. This one being hands-on, you actually get to cook the food. It's an incredible 2 hours. I highly recommend it for anyone's traveling on board and who's interested in culinary. Moving on to the actual onboard restaurants that we have. Savor the unrivaled experience on board with 8 different venues that we offer, with Compass Rose being our main dining venue with European and American fare, Prime 7 being our Pan-Asian restaurant, Chartreuse being our French venue, Prime 7 being our USDA Prime Steakhouse, Setamari is our Italian venue, Azor is our new Mediterranean venue on board Prestige, which I'll show you some photos here in a moment. Our pool grill, which is absolutely amazing. It has great made-to-order burgers and sandwiches. In the evening, it turns into a casual dining experience. And then one of my favorite experiences on board is the in-suite dining. We have an incredible 24-hour room service dining menu, but you can also order from the restaurant during restaurant hours and dine in-suite course by course. It's absolutely exceptional. My wife and I do it on every single cruise. You put your Regent robe on, you put your Regent slippers on, you crack the balcony door so you can hear the ocean and have a little bit of that ocean breeze come into the suite while you watch countless television shows and movies on our on-demand system in suite. It's absolutely amazing. 6-star dining in robes. It's absolutely great. So here, as I mentioned, we are the most inclusive product if you were to stack us up on shore or on the water. And here's how we break that down. We break it into 3 different areas. We have comfort, which I kind of talked about the suite sizes. We have ample storage space, spacious bathrooms, which I'll show you pictures here shortly. Personalized service. We will personalize your suite for you with mini bar setups. I personally like to have bar peanuts in the suite when I sit out on the balcony and just enjoy a beer and have some peanuts. That's something that they always add for me. Our butler service is another level of personalization in our penthouse suites and above. Enjoyment level, I've talked about our tours, I've talked about our dining. All of our dining is included. There is no additional cost in any of the venues I just discussed with you. There are reservations that are required for some of them, but it's just because those venues are smaller. But again, there's no cost. Unlimited beverages on board. That's water all the way up to our top shelf wells, which would be, Kettle One, Grey Goose level type of alcohol if you do consume. Customizable in-suite mini bars. I mentioned open bars and lounges, dynamic entertainment, which I'll show you here later in a bit. Unlimited access to our spa facilities, which is our cold rooms, our hot tubs, our steam rooms, all the showers and relaxation areas. Unlimited Wi-Fi. We have Starlink on board throughout our entire fleet, so you can stay connected at home with your family, or if you're still working, you can do business on board. Prepaid gratuities. We are a cashless society. You do not need to purchase anything once you step on board the ship unless you choose to, and those would be spa treatments, any purchases from our boutique, and then any donations that you would like to make to our casino, which we highly appreciate. My favorite inclusion is the valet laundry service. This is, so you can pack light. You don't have to have that responsibility of bringing a different outfit for every single evening. You can send it in. We take care of it for you. It comes back beautifully wrapped like a Christmas present. And we take care of the laundry. So again, back to this responsibility of packing light. If you're going somewhere and you don't want to bring in one of the big bags or, carry all the luggage with you, you have that opportunity. The in-suite dining, concierge level and above suites, we have the one-night pre-hotel, which is really important in today's day and age. It's a great point to start in our categories, which the MOAA advisors can walk you through. But that additional inclusion with the one-night hotel just gives you a little bit more opportunity to see the destination that you're traveling to and embarking on the ship in, but also giving you a little bit of buffer in case there's some flight issues. And getting you into the area. We are very visual when it comes to how we stack up. So if you are interested in other entities in the luxury segment, their pricing may be very enticing. They have great carrots to kind of, bring you in, but all those unchecked areas are a cost in some form. And so, they may be close to Regent or, maybe a little bit less expensive, but when you add in all those additional costs, especially your onboard purchases as well, their costs do elevate quite a bit, which I'll show you a more detailed breakdown here momentarily. But as you can see here across the board, we are that most inclusive product on the water. If you do travel with us and would like to have your airfare done through Regent, I know MOAA has a lot of connections as well to get your airfare, so it's always best to shop. But we do have a program, and with that program, it is a concierge desk where your MOAA advisor could call in and give the details of the flight schedules that you're interested in. Maybe you prefer a carrier or a particular schedule, and we would offer pricing for that, and you can make a decision on if you'd like to take our airfare or not. The good thing about having the airfare done with us is there is a little bit additional where we're able to kind of hold your hand a little bit more, and that is with our transfer service. If you do airfare through us, all of the transfers are included to get you to and from the airport to the ship. And if you have any hotels done through us or are in that concierge level suite that I mentioned, we would connect you through the hotels as well on those transfers. So it just gives you a little bit more peace of mind that all of those, it gets a little bit more watertight per se. And then in addition to that, we also have a partnership with Black Lane, which gives you a $500 credit and voucher to use towards private chauffeur transfers in the destinations. So in the States here, we use suburban level, Escalade, Yukon level SUVs, that size, so that gives you more luggage. Overseas, we use like Mercedes luxury Sprinter vans. And then that also gives you opportunity, again, more luggage up to 4 bags. And then that also extends the level of miles that you're able to travel up to 100 miles from your destination. And you can place this up to 10 days prior to your sailing to 10 days post or anywhere in the middle. If you decide not to use our Black Lane inclusion, there is a shipboard credit that we would turn that voucher into. So it's not a must-use situation. There is some benefit there as well. But just again, it kind of encompasses with that airfare, all of those transfers and everything get taken care of for us. So I've told you all about Regent in the sense, but where does all this magic happen? Well, it happens on the most elegant fleet in the world. We currently have 6 ships in the water, with the Prestige coming out in December of this year. So we have Prestige, which is a completely new build, which we'll discuss here momentarily. We have the Grandeur, the Splendor, and Explorer, which are all sister ships. We call them the Explorer class vessels. We have the Voyager and the Mariner, which are sister ships. And we actually just did a refurbishment on them. We put about $50 million into the ships to bring them up to prestige class level with the new ship coming out. They're a little bit older. They were built in the early 2000s, with the Explorer class vessels being built 2016 or newer. And then the Navigator is our most intimate vessel at 496 guests, which we're actually exiting the fleet at the end of October next year. To kind of talk about all the exciting new changes that have happened with the ships, as I just mentioned, the Voyager and the Mariner had some refurbishments. We added a brand new pizzeria on board to the ships, which is absolutely amazing. They make handcrafted, incredible pizzas that are kind of in a copper wood burning type of style. So you get that really crisp dough. We did all new furnishing, details, hardware, lighting, redesigned marble bathrooms throughout, lush carpeting throughout the entire ships. They're absolutely amazing. We also added the Epicurean Enrichment Studio, which is our culinary enrichment. It's not a hands-on cooking class. This is more of a cooking demo. But if you still have that culinary knowledge from the Gourmet Explorer tours on shore, you can bring that here and watch some of those techniques and knowledge be placed in a demo setting firsthand on board the Mariner and the Voyager. And just real quick, here's a short video of the Mariner's refurbishment so you can see how the ship looks today. And we are still waiting on the Voyager's video. Mariner was done in November of 2025. The Voyager was just finished about 2 months ago. So we do have a few pictures of the Voyager's refurbishment. You can see here, sweet, absolutely stunning textures throughout, beautiful decor, that color palette that we're going to be using in Prestige, which you'll see here momentarily. The bathroom, the marble throughout, absolutely stunning. It's very luxurious. We didn't skimp on any of the details on either of these vessels. We wanted to make sure that though they are our core ships from early, the early 2000s, that they still would stack up against the Prestige, which is our new vessel coming out at the end of the year. Here we have the Voyagers in Culinary Enrichment Studio and the Epicurean Enrichment, and the beautiful atrium area of the Voyager. Next, I do have a quick video of the Grandeur to kind of show you the Explorer class vessels as well. Such an incredible ship. One thing that we're doing with our Explorer class vessels is we actually are doing a reimagining of these ships over the next 2 years or so, closer to 2.5 years. Starting in December of 2027 into November of 2028, we will take the Splendor, Explorer, and Grandeur and remove some of the categories from them. So currently they're at 740 guests um, with three categories that would be considered our entry level, which are H, G2, and G1. The H's are about 307 square feet, and were initially set up to be solo suites. That did not pan out the way that we thought it would. So over the next 2 years, starting with the dates that you see here, we will be removing the lower entry level suites and bringing that category up from around 307 square feet to 415 square feet for our entry level on the Explorer class ships. With that, it actually reduces the capacity down to under 690 passengers on board. So, again, creating large square footage suites with ample space, walk-in closets, and everything that a guest would expect to match across the rest of our fleet, as that is roughly the standard for a lot of the newer class vessels in the Regent fleet at that square footage. So as you can see here, we have a really great plan in mind when it comes to the textures and the details and the color palette. We're also adding a category called the Horizon Penthouse Suite that will be on board this class as well, which gives more outdoor spaces. I'll show you an example of Prestige here in a moment, but we're really excited to again invest in our fleet, create new experiences, and give our guests new opportunities. To get into Prestige, this is again our new ship as of December this year. It is going to launch December 13th. She is a completely new build, a completely new design. She's not a sister ship with any of the other ships in the fleet. She'll be about 77,000 tons, which is about 40% larger than what the Grandeur is, which is the video that you just watched. But she'll only have about a 10% increase when it comes to capacity. She'll have 411 suites, 7 specialty dining venues. 2 of them will be new concepts. She'll have 12 categories. 4 of those are new, and we've introduced some really great new suites, and one being the Skyview Regent Suite. Getting into some of the public spaces here, this is our Starlight Atrium. Really beautiful piece here. As you saw in that video, we always have a really beautiful chandelier that kind of sits in our atrium space. In this particular venue, we're going to use that spiral staircase that takes you up from deck 5 all the way up to a deck 11. The 2 spirals off to the side are from deck 4 to deck 5. And we're going to use all those tiny little spheres that you see on that staircase as our lighting in our chandelier art piece. So that is all LED backlit. You're going to have really cool shows and unique opportunities for pre-dinner entertainment, post-dinner entertainment, pop-up entertainment throughout the day, and just really cool illumination shows there. We also have Galileo's Bar, which is on deck 4. It would have been right behind us from that previous slide. And this is our tribute to the Navigator. As I mentioned, the Navigator is leaving the fleet as of October of 2027. She's the only ship that has a Galileo's Bar on board. So this is our tribute to our oldest vessel and one of our only ships that was which was our actual first build for a luxury vessel as a company. So here is that beautiful directional tile, the fluted bar, the incredible oil painting ceiling. It's absolutely going to be a hub for entertainment and great vibes on board the Prestige. Here we have our coffee connection, one of our most popular areas on board to get a cup of joe in the morning prior to your shore excursions, or maybe it's a sea day and have a meeting point for your travel companions. This goes until late into the evening. We have guests here having a great time, having tea and coffee all the way up until 9, 10, 11 in the evening. So here you can see throughout the entire vessel, we have incredible horizon views as well with all of the floor to ceiling windows. Absolutely stunning space. And the inspiration here is the bustling coffee houses of Paris and Vienna. Here we have our pool deck, an incredible venue as well. The ship is a little bit wider at this point, so in some of the areas that benefit, it would be the pool. So you have wider space, which means more covered area, the larger pool, more loungers. There's no need for you to get up at 4:30 in the morning to go set your towel down to secure your lounger for the day. There's plenty of space for everyone between deck and 11, deck 12, with the covered space. Have a mocktail or a cocktail, dip your toe in the water, let the sun kiss your skin. It's an absolutely amazing place. Here we have Compass Rose. Everywhere throughout the venue, the inspiration is going to be ocean based in some form, or inspired by a destination. And here you can see, the ocean really being abundant here. You can see that it looks like that carpet is a ocean washing up on shore with the sea foam dragging back, the incredible blues throughout. As I mentioned, this is an American and European fare, so all the incredible cuisine that we offer in Compass Rose throughout the fleet, absolutely amazing venue. No reservations are required. Here we have Pacific Rim again. That is our Pan-Pacific or our Pan-Asian venue. Incredible flavors from all of the Asian countries. This is a large venue with big floor-to-ceiling windows, incredible stone hosted stations to greet you in that art area as you walk into the venue. This has great barbecue ribs, sushi, tempura lobster. It's absolutely one of my favorite venues on board. Here's the Zur. This is our new venue. Again, this is going to be reservations required, just like Pacific Rim. This is our new mezzi style venue. So think vibrant, sharing style tastings. When it comes to the menu design, very social dining experience, a lot going on, and then bringing all those textures and colors from all over the Mediterranean. And we're not just talking about the European side, we're talking about the northern portions of Africa as well. So this will be a very vibrant and, again, a hub space when it comes to our dining venues on board. When it comes to suites in our venue or in our fleet, I will focus a little bit more on prestige, but have a few other suite categories from the other ships in there as well. This actually being one of the distinctive suites on board Explorer. You'll see that the color palettes are really the big changes here. The Explorer is going to have more deeper, darker tones throughout. This absolutely kind of expresses that. Here is the new Skyview Regent Suite on board Prestige. The Regent Suite on our current fleet, which would be the Explorer class vessels, is about 4,443 square feet. This one is going to be 8,794 square feet. Both have about a 600 square foot dining space called the study that they have access to, which sits in between Chartreuse and Prime 7, which is our, again, USDA Prime Steakhouse and French venue. So again, two spacious bedrooms, incredible opportunities when it comes to inclusions. We have private car and driver and all the ports that offer the infrastructure. They have in-suite spa treatments that are available to guests. So you don't go to the spa comes to you. Of course, the incredible size of the suite. This has an in-suite gym. It has 2 levels, an elevator. It's absolutely incredible. The most exclusive address at sea by far. Here we have the Skyview Suites, which is a mirror of our signature suites. The difference between the Skyview Suites and the signature suites are a little bit in size because there are 3 different distinct expressions of the Skyview Suite. But the big difference here is that you have a staircase as well that takes you up, and it gives you this incredible private sky view terrace. So this, again, is exclusive to Seven Seas Prestige, has an incredible dining space, outdoor sitting area, dipping pool, and then, of course, the incredible views of the horizon throughout the destinations that we're traveling to. Here's an incredible grand suite on board Grandeur, just to kind of, again, give you the ideas of how everything differentiates. So again, a little bit lighter color palettes here, mixed in with the darker grays, really beautiful earth tones, which are really predominant on board Prestige as well. Here is one of the new Prestige categories, which is our Grand Loft Suite. This is my by far favorite of the new suites. I love this. It's only 856 square feet. Compared to the Skyview and the Skyview Regent Suite, it's definitely not as large, but this gives you an incredible view with 2 floors of glass. Just picture yourself either sitting on that balcony or sitting on the edge of that bed in the loft space in Monte Carlo, having a glass of champagne with your travel companion, looking at the destination. Maybe the fireworks are going off, the sun is setting, and all of those views and all of those feelings that go along with really being able to see a destination from where you're most comfortable, which would be your home away from home. Here we have our penthouse suites. This is on board Splendor. So again, really little, the color palette here is much lighter, still with the earth tones, but you're getting over 600 square feet here. Butler service is included in this category. Beautiful separate separate sitting and sleeping spaces, huge walk-in bathroom space. This is one of my favorite suites throughout the fleet as well. Here we have our concierge suites, which range from 485 square feet down to 440. This is on board Explorer. So again, you're getting that darker color palette. Same kind of size suite throughout the fleet, though, when it comes to all of our vessels from Explorer class up through Prestige. And then we also have our Serenity suites, which range about 440 square feet. So large square footage. Something really cool about Serenity and the concierge suites on Explorer class and Prestige is we've actually rotated the bed to be facing the balcony. So every day when you wake up, you'll have an ocean view, or you can leave the balcony door open and really catch that ocean breeze, as I mentioned. So we're really excited that we'll continue on with that design through Prestige. And I can show you that we will be again, continuing the investment into our fleet over the next decade. As you can see, Prestige 1 coming out in 2026, and we have Prestige 4 all the way out into 2036. So this is an incredible platform that we're using over the next decade, and we can't wait to continue to up the bar when it comes to the next Prestige class levels. Again, when we show how we continue to invest in our fleet, here we like to show you how others have either completed their new builds or, have no further investment into new builds. Of course, refurbishment is out there, but as other entities in the luxury segments, ships continue to age where they have to bring them up to par, we will continue to put brand new hardware in the water. And you can see that, again, over the next decade. Getting back into what we offer on board, the entertainment is absolutely amazing. We have Broadway-esque shows, musicians, magicians. We have shows that are curated specifically for Regent in our entertainment campus in Tampa, or we bring on Broadway shows that are on Broadway, obviously. We bring on rock bands and all sorts of really great entertainment. And then, of course, we have our signature orchestra on board that does a lot for us as well. Here we have that comparison, as I mentioned to you before, on how we really stack up. A lot of other entities really give you really great carrots to entice you into their products. We really like to show you how we stack up against premium brands because those usually have the most enticing carrots, but also their onboard value really brings up their total cost. So you really have to think about what the pre-cruise and onboard costs are going to be. And you can see in this particular situation, we end up being the benefit with all of our inclusions, and these very contemporary costs of onboard expenses through the premium products. But that may not be the case every single time. We may end up being a little bit more expensive. But again, with premium brands, you're traveling with 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 guests. With us at the max, it's going to be 840 passengers with our new brand. 820 guests with our brand new Prestige. There's no waiting in lines. There's no nickel and diming. You can make sure there's no bill at the end of your sailing with Regent. Usually, if you want to go on board a premium product, as you can see here, alternative dining says $100 per person. That's maybe one time if you're not having any cocktails or maybe sticking to just, the entry-level wines and beers. But you're going to probably want to do that multiple times on board. So that cost is going to just continue to increase. With us, that pre-cruise cost is what it is unless you choose to purchase. So as we move into where do we go over to 550 worldwide destinations. The only areas we do not travel to are rivers, and we do not do expedition, but we can take you anywhere else and check off most of every other box. We also just launched our new voyage collection debut. So we have sailings from April of 2028. I'm sorry, from now in 2026 through May of 2029. That's inclusive of multiple world cruises into 2029, incredible grand voyages into 2029. So there's a lot of opportunity for you to book. As John mentioned at the beginning of the webinar, there are a lot of really great opportunities for you to join already booked MOAA members and create that bond that you already have a connection. Being in the military and doing the things that you've done. And we hope that you can, create those friendships and build off of that already secured connection on board those MOAA groups that we offer. So here's a list of groups that we have currently out. Again, work with your MOAA advisor to really dial in. We have a couple different here. We have some that are offering $400 worth of shipboard credit, some that are offering $600 worth of shipboard credit, but they are going all the way through 26 into 2028. But more importantly, we have this incredible group that was highlighted on the magazine that came out recently, which is the Circumnavigation of Australia, which is our Australian adventure, Sydney to Sydney, which is happening on Mariner, which again was just refurbished in 2025 and will continue to add to those refurbishments over the years, sailing in January of 2028. Again, that Sydney round trip, which is 32 nights. This is a $600 per suite shipboard credit MOAA group. And this is one of those types of sailings that is extremely rare. A lot of the times we will do we'll do Australia, New Zealand. A lot of the cruise entities do not do circumnavigations around Australia. They either go up north out of Sydney, up through Townsville and Darwin, and then up into Asia, or the other way where they touch on Adelaide and Melbourne and the Gold Coast and maybe touch Perth and then go all the way out. But we never see a lot of these full circumnavigation opportunities. So if Australia is on your bucket list and you want to check that box in its entirety, here's an incredible opportunity with additional benefits on an amazing sailing in 2028. And please reach out to your MOAA advisor to discuss pricing and opportunities for this group. Other MOAA offers, as John mentioned, we do have this incredible non-public promotion that we offer for MOAA members and MOAA Vacations, which is up to 50% off currently on select departures. That is, again, not in the market. It's not something you could go to any other agency and book and get. This is something that is exclusive to MOAA. And so work with your MOAA advisors to know what sailings that is offered on so you can get some really great deals, especially if you are flexible and you are open to sailings that are offering really, really, really great savings. He also mentioned that at a minimum on any particular situation, or any particular reservation, you will get a minimum of $250 per suite. So if this sailing, does not offer a MOAA group that offers more shipboard credit because it's one or the other, there's no other additional benefits through Regent where we're offering shipboard credit, you will absolutely get that $250 per suite add-on. Just to kind of take a step back, that 50% exclusive promotion is our really down and dirty bottom line. So it's not combinable with any other promotions. Some of the things that I'll discuss here in a moment would not be combinable with that particular offer. Starting off with our single supplement. So we do offer incredible solo supplements throughout multiple voyages. A lot of them are 0%. Some of them are 25, 50, 75%, but we love solos. We want them on board. Our solos program is incredible. We do meet and greets. Our crew goes above and beyond to ensure that our guests are interacting as much as they feel comfortable doing. We do cocktail parties, dinners, receptions, all sorts of things for our solos. So if you are a solo guest or you have family or friends that you would like to travel with who are solos, there's great opportunities for them to get into luxury at a lower save or at a great savings. We currently are offering an array of sailings that are up to 35% off. This is actually our 35th anniversary in 2027. So we're very excited to kind of kick that off and offer a savings on a lot of our 27 dates. And then we also have an additional $350 per suite shipboard credit. So kind of take a step back to our MOAA shipboard credit. If you were to book one of these savings, it would be the 350 over the 250, for example. We are also offering our iconic exploration free land program in Asia, Australia, and South America. So in our exotic destinations, these promotions both end on August 31st of this year. So there's a little bit of a shorter runway, but if you'd like to take an opportunity to get that held, we can always review for better promotions later down the line. There are some stipulations behind that, but we would gladly review for better offer for you. And then for joining us today and being part of MOAA Vacations or booking through MOAA Vacations, you would get an up to $2,000 discount. In reality, this would be roughly in that first category. Hopefully you book the Circumnavigation Australia because then you move into the second tier there. But reality would be about the $300 to $550 off per suite savings for joining us today. This is actually something we've been running for the entire month. So if you booked earlier, this is something that you should get as well, which was August 1st and it will end on the 31st of this month as well. So we will get that all taken care of for you once you deposit your reservation. And before we get to the end of the webinar today, I do have a short video. This is an incredible, just short overview of a guest experience being picked up by Blacklane from their home, taken to the vessel, onboard, onshore experiences, and just really dialing in on what our message is, being what we feel is the number one ultra luxury product in the segment.
Unforgettable, that's what you are. Unforgettable in every way, and forevermore, that's how you'll stay. That's why, darling, it's incredible that someone so unforgettable thinks that I'm unforgettable too.
Please know that if you have any issues or anything along those lines, we are here to help. Reach out to your MOAA advisor. They will come back to us and we will get everything taken care of for you. And again, thank you so much for your time and listening to my nasally drone for the last 45 minutes or so. So I really appreciate you guys today and we hope to see you on board in the near future.
Fantastic, Andrew.
Thank
Hey,
you.
one correction, you said second tier for circumnavigation of Australia. It's 32 nights. Wouldn't that be third tier?
Oh, that's right. Yeah, because that only went to 29, right? Yes, you
There
were
you
right.
go.
Yes,
I think you
100%.
make one small error. Let's just make sure I'm listening.
We got to do
Hey,
the whole thing over now.
exactly. We've got a number of questions we're going to go through. As a reminder, in case anyone forgot or you came in late, there should be a little icon at the bottom of your screen, either your cursor or your finger. It should show little icons. You're looking for one that says Q&A. If you don't see the Q&A, click on that circle with three dots that says more, and then you'll see it. So just type in your question. So we're going to go all through these. But first, I wanted to kind of go back to the thing on the specials because obviously price is such a big deal. So I'm going to do them in two stages. Number one, we talked about the $250 shipboard credit. We had a couple of questions on that. That is with Regent if you book through MOAA Vacations. So Regent comes to MOAA and says, in recognition of your members, past the continued service, if somebody books through your travel agency, we're going to give them a minimum of a $250 shipboard credit. So Andrew talked about a promotion that has a $350 credit. And, we talked about the groups that has a 400 or a 600 shipboard credit. So what we're really doing with that program is saying, all the ships they have and all the departures they have, you always receive that kind of baseline shipboard credit. And where that kind of comes in the most is most of the promotions that they have are going to be close in. Now, the groups, of course, we're looking at 27, 20, 28. But if you look at the dates for that 35% off with the $350 shipboard credit, if I'm remembering correctly, those are mostly going to be 26 and 27 departures. So if you're looking out into 2028, that's where that comes in the most. Similar situation with the bonus savings. So we can sit there and say you can book any Regent cruise, any departure date, and if you book in the month of August, you are at least going to save this amount. But in a lot of cases, we can save you more than that. And the one that we get the most questions about is those departure dates that have up to a 50% savings. Someone in the Q&A asked a question about they booked earlier this month and they received a savings of $3,100 per person if you guys have been kind of following the chat. Obviously, $3,100 per person is considerably more than what it would be in that dollars off program, which would have been 400 per person. So our agents work with Regent all the time. For those that don't know, we do a Regent webinar every single quarter. We've been doing that for years now. They are like the number one ocean cruise line for MOAA members. So if we can get you 50% off, you may not get that 400 off, but we're saving you thousands of dollars. So I always kind of tell people your best bet is to reach out either by this telephone number or this email address and let us know where you want to go and when you want to go. And they will get back to you and tell you what the maximum amount of savings is and what the maximum amount of onboard credit we can get you for that desired cruise to that desired destination. So hopefully that makes sense. If not, just reach out to us. But we are here to get you the best possible value for your cruising dollar in most cases. Because if you look at, I don't know, Andrew could probably tell me how many cruises they do a year. But, if they're doing close to 800, 900 cruises a year, that's quick math on my part. In the majority of those, you're going to get that bonus dollars off and you're going to get that $250 shipboard credit. But if you're flexible or you're going at the right time to the right place, we can do better than that. And then we've had a couple of questions about the onboard credit because we keep making such a big deal for it. And I'm going to kind of answer the questions out of order because we got this more than once. Is if everything is included, why are we making such a big deal out of the onboard credit? And so, first off, there is a spa on board. Spa treatments are not included. Is it really a vacation if you're not getting at least one or two massages during the week, 10 days that you're out there? But I also use the example of my personal experience. So, the last few years, my family has taken Regent for vacation. We did a European cruise, we did Alaska, and we did Caribbean. And I use an example. So there are included shore excursions every single day, but they have what I would say are elevated experiences that are available for a cost. And I use two examples. So last year we went to the Caribbean and we went on the included excursion every single day except one. And on that one day, we kind of did that kind of treat ourselves. And we actually had a private villa on the beach, which we had our private butler, included all of our food, all of our drinks. So we had menus that we could order off, and we spent the day, as our family joke, we were kind of like living like kings and queens for a day. And that was an additional cost. Or another example would be the year prior, I guess 2 years prior, when we went did the Mediterranean cruise. Once again, we used the included excursion every day, but one day we splurged and we did a private yacht. I'd never been on a private yacht before, so our family basically reserved a private yacht. We got on that yacht, and then we were the quote unquote captains, I guess, of that ship are probably not the captains of the ship. But when we went to places, we would stay as long or as short as we wanted, and it was a phenomenal experience. And I think in my experience, at least from my talking to members, spa treatments and those elevated shore excursions are the two things that people use that onboard credit for the most, both of which I'm sure you can tell just from my enthusiasm when I talk to them, add so much more to an already fantastic experience. Andrew, do you want to talk about either the specials or what you use the onboard credit for before we kind of turn over to the remainder of the questions we've received?
I mean, John, you did a really good job. I mean, those are really two areas that the shipboard credit would be applied to. So the spa treatments, the shore excursions, a lot of a lot of the shipboard credit that we offer is available pre-cruise as well. So you're not using it on board to purchase the shore excursions. It would be applied pre-cruise to those paid tours as well. So you're not having to wait to see if inventory is available on those things. So that's really the only thing I would add is that we do allow that shipboard credit to be used prior to sailing.
Gotcha. Yes, that is an excellent point because yeah, when we go in and select our excursions, it's always such a fun thing. We get everybody together, and we have like a system we do since we've been on Region a few times, and everybody kind of picks out what they want to do each day, and then we go to dinner someplace tonight, and we sit there, and it's like, okay, so we're in Santorini today. What do we want to do in Santorini? And we'll decide. And then we kind of just started this thing of just I started it 3 years ago when we went. I guess it'll be 4 years ago because last year was when we did Caribbean. But I was the one who started this. I've never been on a private yacht before. Let's do that. And then I can't remember what we did in Alaska. I'm sure we did one there as well. And then last year when we went to the Caribbean, we all thought, wouldn't it be fun to have a private villa on the beach? Some of you probably own a private villa on the beach, but for us, it was a really kind of cool deal. Okay, speaking of the shore excursions, we had a question about when reservations open for dining venues. And my response, and I'll just kind of read what I said, and then Andrew, I was hoping that you could expand upon this. I said that dining and shore excursions are open in phases, starting with the top suites and progressively opening additional categories. So I'll admit I don't remember when they start opening, but can you kind of speak about how the dining and the shore excursion reservation systems are opened up?
Absolutely. So the reservations are category based and also status based. So mostly category is going to be concierge level and above. So everything from that pre-hotel concierge level that I mentioned. Another one of the benefits is priority dining reservations, which opens up at 90 days prior to sailing. Anything below concierge would be 75 days prior to sailing.
Gotcha. And then what about shore excursions, since we were just talking about
Yeah,
shore
shore
excursions?
excursions just changed in tours. Let me just make sure we just flipped it around here. So
And while
the
he's looking that up, I'll just say when we book you, for those who haven't sailed on Region before, you'll get an email letting you know that shore excursions are opening up in, 7 days or 10 days. I can't remember what the advance notice is, but they will email and let you know when they are opening up. And then you just go to the website and you just select the ones you want. If you select what I call the elevated, I don't know if you guys have an actual term for it, but if you select one of those, you just pay for it at the time you select it. But as I said, I mean, in the three region cruises I've been on, we did Med, Alaska, then Caribbean. I think we did one elevated for all three of them, but most of the days, because I think it was 10 nights, 7 nights, 10 nights, if I remember the itinerary lengths. So out of those 27 days, 20 of those days, we went on the included excursions. There's lots of options. I think they're great choices. I mean, I remember in Alaska, we did whale watching, we did canoeing on a lake. I mean, fun kind of activities like that were all included for free. But anyway, go ahead, Andrew. You were going to say when shore excursions open.
Yeah, so concierge level and above is 210 days prior to sailing, and non-concierge would be 180 days prior to sailing.
Yep. And I will mention something because I know whenever we talk about sailings that are going to be 25, 30, 40, 50% off, those, the last time I looked, are all departures, either 2026 or I think there were some Andrew, you might know better than me that we're like Q1 of,
Q1,
of,
yeah,
of,
27.
of 2027. So in a lot of those instances, you're getting 50% off the cruise fare, but, and I'm sure your agent will let you know this as well, shore excursions have been open to everyone on board. So, it's you're getting, let's say you're getting 40% off the cruise fare. That's a great deal, but just know that when you book it that, you, some of the excursions may be full. I will say from experience, if they get enough people on the wait list, Region does a great job of trying to open up more space and those types of things. But just full disclosure kind of thing on, if you book something close in, you may save a considerably a lot more money, but and there's how many excursions would you say a day? I mean, there's 12, 14. I mean, there are a lot to do.
Yeah, it depends on destination. Like for example, I'm actually looking at I'm hosting a seminar in Italy in a couple weeks, and our tour just out of the blue, I was just looking at Tuscany today, and I want to say there's 18 complimentary tours on it.
Yeah.
So
So there's a lot. So my family normally books close in. We like to take advantage of the best possible deal. But yeah, I mean, if you have a little flexibility, if there's 18 excursions and a couple of them are filled out, there's still plenty of other opportunities. All right, moving on. Had someone ask about formal nights. I basically said it is resort casual. I think people like to hear personal experience. My family's real big about doing one family photo a year, so we will typically I'll actually bring a jacket and tie, which I typically wouldn't wear, but for the one night where we're going to dress up, typically a night when we're going to go to one of the specialty dining venues, and then we will get a family picture with all of us in our Sunday best, for a lack of a better description. But for the most part, other than when we are dressing up for a photo, I might wear a sports coat to dinner a couple of nights, but it is resort casual. But I know attire is always a big thing. So Andrew, I didn't know if you wanted to say anything further about kind of the resort casual.
absolutely, yeah. So I mean, we are ultra luxury and a very casual setting. I mean, we allow jeans after 6 p.m. as long as they're not torn, anything along those lines. I mean, obviously we have a dress code, so there's no shorts or any of that after 6 p.m. But really what you would wear to a nice scale steakhouse, a modern steakhouse in town is really what we would consider our dress code. You don't have to wear a jacket. There's no ties required. Usually, as long as the shirt has a collar in some form, so a polo or a button-up sleeve or a short sleeve would be fine. But yeah, I mean, it's very casual. And we do have guests, like John mentioned, who also just like to dress up for dinner. So you
Yep.
will see all levels of dress throughout our ships and through the dining experience, from that gentleman or with jeans, sneakers, and a jacket on, to an individual who actually wore a tuxedo. So it's all there.
Yep. Somebody asked about the 50% off cruises. When you receive the email tonight, they are posted, or a link is posted on the Regent/MOA website. As I mentioned earlier, we do have a website we put together just for Regent. So it would have information on the group departures. It would have information to these 50% off. They used to be called covert fares. I think they have a new name now. What's the new name, Adam?
Focus fairs.
Focus fairs. There you go. Uh, and so you'll receive a link to those in the email tonight. So I'll make sure that I kind of highlight that for us. So if you're looking to go on a cruise in 2026 or first quarter 2027, those are new bookings only. There is no way, if you're already booked and by some strange coincidence, a sailing that you booked a couple years ago kind of goes to that we can actually get that lower fare approved for you. And part of that is they are not really kind of added to that list until all the other cabin categories have already been open to shore excursion. So that is kind of one of the advantages you get. But anyway, does MOA benefits work when booking on board a current sailing? Andrew, I'll let you answer that. So we have the $250 shipboard credit. So if I'm sailing on Regent and I book another Regent cruise, do we apply that $250 MOA? exclusive amenity to that onboard booking.
Yes, I mean, as long as, I mean, between us, John, you would request that through me, but yes, it
Yeah.
would be eligible for, it would be eligible, the booking would be eligible for the shipboard credit even if it was booked on board.
Okay. So, but once again, that would be a minimum. So let's
It's
say
around the
you
same parameters, exactly.
Yeah. So
Yep.
let's say you're sailing, in a couple of months and you go on it and you say, you know what, we do want to go on that circumnavigation cruise. If I remember correctly, that has a $600 onboard credit. So if you booked on board, we'd move you into the MOAA group departure and you'd get the $600 onboard credit. If it was on a different ship in a different sailing where we didn't have, like a 400 or $600 group amenity, you'd receive at least that minimum thing, that minimum amenity. Do you have a list of the focus? We do. The link is inactive. Oh, well, I'll have to see, Bob. Thanks for letting me know. The last time I looked, the link on the website was working. I will make sure that IT make sure that is corrected. It is possible that Reach and change the URL on that, but I will make sure I include that. I can answer this. Our NCLH shareholder credits applied. Andrew, I'll let you answer that.
Yeah, as long as, I mean, if you are a shareholder with over 100 shares of NCLH stock, we would honor the stockholder benefits.
Gotcha. And then it is your exclusive bonus dollars off mention combinable with the 35-year anniversary sale. I'm gonna let Andrew answer this, but my guess would be no, because it's 35% off and $350 onboard credit, both of which are a lot higher, more a larger discount and a larger amount of onboard credit than our kind of baseline minimum. But Andrew, is that correct?
That's right. Yeah. So since they're getting the 350, it would be in place
Yeah.
of.
Yeah, so basically what we're kind of trying to say, and I'm trying to think of a more succinct way to say it, is um, the bonus onboard credit and the MO exclusive amenity shipboard credit are like baseline minimums. So you're going to get, if you book in August, you're going to get that up to $2,000 off, and I think it's if you're in one of the lower categories and one of the shorter cabins, it's 350 if I remember correctly. But you always are going to get a minimum savings off of what you would get. And by the way, this is a discount of what you would get booking through Regent or booking through another travel agency. So, and the same thing with the onboard credit. But those are baselines. If there is a promotion that we can get you that has more savings and has more onboard credit, they don't combine. You just get the higher amount. Andrew, I don't know if you want to address that.
No, I mean, I mean, it is exactly that. It's like, it's 250 is the foundation. Unless there's something better, then it replaces it.
Yep.
Right.
And
So,
then in the month of August, we can basically sit there and say MOA Vacations can offer you a discount off what you would get from Regent on any sailing, any ship, any sailing kind of thing. So we always are able to provide that value, which is kind of what we aim to do, not as successfully with other vendors. But we always try to have that, always can offer savings, always can offer a free amenity. But as I said, we guarantee the lowest price. So you'll never get a lower price booking elsewhere. But in a lot of cases, we have better deals. And I think it was a question I skipped because it was kind of on that $250 onboard credit that I want to go back to. Somebody asked if that is a Regent offer or a MOA offer. And I think I said before that it is a Regent offer that you receive when you book your MOA vacations. In one of my answers, I kind of expanded upon that and saying, we have similar offers with other vendors, not to talk about other vendors, right, Andrew, but for example, with Uniworld, it's an additional $100 off on any ship on any sailing. Um, and both that Uniworld offer and this Regent offer, that $250 additional onboard credit is what we would call an evergreen amenity, which means it's been running. It runs this entire year. It ran last year. It ran the year before. It ran the year before. I think it's been running since 2022. So there's no kind of time frame. And then I used another example of Viking. So with Viking, we have a MOA exclusive amenity, but it's time specific. So for example, in the month of July, if you booked a Viking cruise, everyone received a $100 $100 onboard credit with Viking. but that promotion's not running any longer. We've run that 3 times this year, but some of them are date specific, so you have to book within a specific time frame. Some of them are, what the term is, evergreen. They're available the entire year. So we do have the MOA exclusive amenity kind of program with like 30 of our top preferred vendors. Anyone we advertise, if you see anything in Military Officer Magazine, or if you see anything in our newsletter, it is going to include a MOA exclusive amenity at least for that time period. So, for example, if you saw the Viking ad in the July magazine, we had that shipboard credit available for July. So, I hope that kind of explains it a little bit more. But once again, we have an 800 number. We have your email address. If you want to go on Oceana, excuse me, if you want to go on an ocean cruise, Regent is a phenomenal option. If you want to do a land tour or if you want to do a river cruise, just give us a call. Let us know when you want to go, where you want to go. If you have a preferred vendor, let us know. And our reps are trained to do this every single time they get a call or an email and come back to you and say, here's the best possible value we can get for your travel dollar. Anyway, that might be a good place to end, and it helps that we are out of questions. So we ran a little long, but we had a lot of questions, so that's often the case. Andrew, before I turn it over to you, the final word, I just want to thank you as I always do. You have a lot of accounts that you work with, and yet you take time, every quarter to spend a couple hours with us when we do these webinars, not including your prep time and everything else. So on behalf of myself, everyone at MOAA Vacations, and everyone who attended today, want to thank you for your time and turn it over to you for the final word.
Well, thank you very much, John. And back at you, we really appreciate your partnership and all the efforts that you apply for myself and Region as well. And again, everybody, thank you so much for your time today. I really hope that you learned something new about Regent, that it's enticing to you, that you're interested in our product, and we get to see you on board in the near future. And thank you, everybody, again for your time. Have a wonderful day.
Have a great weekend, everybody.